At the beginning of the season, I thought this was the clearest path in recent memory that Georgia had to a national championship. It's a year where Alabama was very young, obviously still very talented, and the rest of their schedule looked pretty great. But Georgia, you know, they had some bumps in the road. They had some ebbs and flows of the season. But to cap it off the way they did, have the most wins in school history, this was an epic season for them to win a championship.
I think a lot of people, if you told them at the beginning of the year Georgia would be playing a national title, they would have said, okay, I could see that. I could believe that. They would then follow it up with, okay, but can we get over Alabama?
Right.
And that was the ultimate question. And, you know, when these guys are 40, 45, 50 years old and they go back for alumni events and they're back hanging out with their teammates, like they'll forever be able to be known and hang out and talk about the team that ended the 40-year drought and won a national championship and delivered something to this city and to this fan base that a lot of other teams weren't able to do. And I think that's what's special too, is because those relationships are forever as a teammate. But what is unique is, you know, you get to talk about winning a national championship every single time you get back with those teammates.
It's special because you guys were teammates when you were here at Georgia. I'm excited to bring you two together, a nice little reunion here in Athens.
Artie and I just get together and we talk about how close we were. We talk about 2012. That's fun.
Yeah. But okay.
That's misery.
It is. So maybe not the best memories all the time. But for these guys, this is different. I'm glad that you brought that up because this will be something special that they get to reminisce on every time they see each other. Hey, remember that time that we won a national championship? This is unbelievable for these players.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
you don't have to bring up the SEC.
No, trust me, I was not going to. But you just got to think about, and it's not even about, I mean, it is about the national championship. That's why we're here. But when you're part of a team, any sport, but specifically football, there's like just little quirky things that will happen like at a pregame meal the night before, or like a strength coach will do something completely absurd like at the team meeting the night before, or something will happen at practice. And like those are the memories that they'll have. But the fact that it ended on the season ended on on the highest of high notes, it's just they're gonna have so many awesome memories to look back on when they're getting older. They go to each other's weddings. They're in each other's weddings. They're godfather each other's kids, and that is going to happen because it's happening to us now.
Yeah.
And I think that's the coolest thing is they can be like, hey, we're champions, but they're not going to talk necessarily about the championship game. They're going to talk about the road to get there. And that's what the cool thing about football, I think, is.
And one of the coolest things that I saw, I think, and you guys saw it because you watched the national championship game, was when Stetson just completely broke down.
Yeah.
They had that camera on his face, and he was ugly crying. Like, I've never seen somebody ugly cry because it was just a moment where, oh, my gosh, we are national champions. It was that emotion that I think some of these fans also feel.
Yeah, I can't imagine what feeling Stetson had after winning that game because – I mean, let's be honest. That kid was treated unfairly at times this year. Like I said earlier, at times he was vilified. And, you know, there's always pressure when you're the quarterback at Georgia, but there was a different type of just, I don't want to say anger, but just frustration around the quarterback position this year because it was so unique. And he performed really well all season, and at times you would have thought that he was playing miserably the way he was treated and talked about. And so for him to get the last laugh and be able to prove all those people wrong is got to be the greatest feeling he'll probably ever experience. All athletes want to prove people wrong when they're doubted, and for him to be able to get that last laugh and you know, be able to prove people wrong and say, hey, no, you know, the 4-star guy wasn't, the 5-star guy wasn't, the walk-on basically, the guy that started his career as a walk-on is the quarterback that delivered the national championship. People have compared it to Rudy, and I've said, this isn't Rudy, this is better Rudy. Rudy played one snap. This is like Kurt Warner stuff, man. I mean, this is beyond Rudy. They could turn this into an incredible, you know, movie.
Yeah, and I think that I should say, that they do make a movie out of Stetson's story because it's been so unique. And he's a guy from southeast Georgia, a guy from a very tiny town of Blackshirt, Georgia. And I still can't see the feed, but I was told a little while ago we got some of the players going into the stadium right now, into Sanford Stadium, getting ready for that celebration where they will be honored, and we'll be bringing you some of the sound that we hear from inside the stadium. I know that you have to go in just a little bit, so we got you just for a little bit longer.
I can see my booth from here, but I think with all the people, it's going to take me 30 minutes to walk a
if you need
stone
to go,
throw.
You can absolutely go.
No, I'm just saying that's how many people are here.
I mean, it's bananas when you look around and you see how many people are here. A lot of dogs, a lot of kids and their families being brought out to this moment. And I hope that Stetson enjoys this day. I really hope that he does. And not just Stetson, obviously all of the players and the teammates and the coaches too. But what an amazing way to celebrate what he was able to accomplish this year.
Yeah, and for, again, he's 5'10", $150 soaking wet. I mean, he looks like he should be a rush chair on Millage for a cockfight or something. But he led Georgia to a national championship, and I think it's the fact that he's from South Georgia. I mean, he's about as Georgia as you can get. Stetson Bennett the fourth. I mean, they don't make him much more Georgia than that. And for him to be able to celebrate, obviously with his teammates and his coaches, but I'm sure his entire family's here, and I think it's just a special moment for him, special moment for his teammates, and just the whole university, because it's been a long time coming.
It has been a long time coming, 40 years in fact, and you can feel the sense that these fans are getting closer to us. We're going to try to mitigate that. But I also don't have IFB anymore. So Jeff, I'm going to send it back to you. And this is what happens on a parade day. We can't see the feed anymore, so I'm going to send it back to you for some help because it's gotten a lot more crowded. There's a lot of things going on out here. We'll be right back to try to give you a little bit brighter picture on what's happening.